Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be creating a really simple background for a large collage image in our journal. I'm starting off my craft journal. No, I'm not. It's the Large Dilutions journal, but it is a craft page. So I think this is a classic journal that's got the different layers in it. I'm just going in with some turquoise paint in a few different areas on my page. Now for this, I have got the image I want to use my page. Quite often I'll actually do a background and then go and find an image, but in this case I've got the image I want to use. And I'm kind of using the image to have a bit of a think about what colours I want to use on it as well, to get my sort of clues about what I'm doing. So I'm using turquoise, I'm using some of that orangey to sort of blend in with some of the tones I've got on the page. I've got this odd cross thing happening, but that's okay because I obviously know that this image is going to go over the top of it. So that will help that out. Then I thought I would go in with some leaves. So this is a Large Dilution stencil of just leaves. And I'm going in with some lime over the top and just stenciling over the entire page. Now when I did this, I wasn't particularly happy with the colour that ended up on this. It was a bit plain, so I played around with it a little bit once I was finished to become a little bit happier. So you can see I'm sort of using up as much paint as possible. In some areas it was a little bit translucent, so I'm just bolstering the colour, particularly over the oranges, because that orange is quite pigmented and holds up quite well. So as I've got my leaves in the background, sort of working out where my girl's going to sit and how she's going to fit on that page, and you can see me sort of tapping my fingers going, those leaves aren't quite right, what am I going to do to fix them? And I'm still thinking. So go back in, put your image on, take your image off, put your image on. You can see me get my darker colour now, and I thought, well, I'll try and frame the page a little bit and give it that vignette look. So just going around the outside and sort of blending those colours in just to give a little bit of a more framed effect, which I was a little bit happier with. So sometimes it can be putting extra detail in, sometimes it can be doing something as simple as that. When I've got leftover paint on my page, I do like to go in and use it up on another page, so it's another page ready for another day. Now I'm going to go in and do a little bit of stamping in the background. I'm using some white ink just to again give a little bit of texture, blend everything together again. So because I've got all those sort of strong colours in the background, just putting something unifying over the top like some text really helps. Now the only problem with this white ink, it's a fabulous white ink, but it is a pigment ink. It takes a little while to dry, so you do need to be really careful, especially if you're doing anything too wet over the top, like gel medium or something. It will blend and run and mix together, so try and keep it as your last layer. I do try and heat set it, but it does take a little while to dry. I have absolutely no patience whatsoever, so if you've got more patience than me, you're doing well. Just with my image, I'm going around with my paint pen and adding in a little bit of detail using my white paint pen. Again, excuse me, just to finish it off a little bit, add a few extra little details to, you know, make it more mine. The image itself, I think, comes from a Flow magazine. This is a magazine from a long time ago that I've had sitting in my stash for quite a while, so I have no idea what issue or whatever, but they come as beautiful thick matte paper. So it takes paint pens really well, and is almost card-like when you glue it down. So it's a really solid image to stick down. They also often have these sort of quirky, whimsical creatures or portraits in their pages. So once I finished putting in sort of all the details I want to on my page, then I started thinking about how I'm going to finish it off. I did go in with a yellow paint pen just to add a little bit of extra detail into her hair, and then a white over the top as well, just to add some extra lines in. You can see when I tap my fingers, it's me going, yep, okay, I'm happy with what I've done, but what do I do next? I'm always thinking about what to do next or what it needs. So as in most pages that I've done, I've decided that I will add in a quote on the page. So at the moment I'm looking up on Pinterest for a quote. Quite often when I'm looking for a quote, it has to do either with the image that I've got or how I'm feeling on the day. So this one, I was trying to work out how I was going to write it on the page. So it's do what is right even if you something. My pen was dying, if you couldn't tell. So the last of the pen, I've gone in with another white pen. So as I usually do, I write the letters out roughly on the page, and then I will go back in and strengthen up the lines and thicken them up and make them fit into the page a little bit more. Now, you sort of saw when I got to the right and the even, I was thinking, do I write over this image? Do I not? I chose to try and fit it around my image a little bit more. As I got further down the page, though, I didn't mind that it wrote over her. I didn't particularly want to write over her face. If it had gone in to her hair, that wouldn't have bothered me too much, but I really like those roses, so I tried to avoid those. But down on her the body, that wasn't too much of a big deal. So do what is right even if you're flying solo. So I love that quote in the fact that she's solo, but she's got the bird there, so it echoes the flying. Probably as I was looking up that page, I might have been looking up a flying quote perhaps, because that's what the bird made me think about, or it could have been strong woman quote. So I'm going in with my black pen just to push my letters out of the page with a little drop shadow. It just sharpens everything up, helps push it into the foreground, which I really, really like on my pages, particularly if I'm writing over something that's quite patterned or a darker color, like the bottom down through this solo bit. It just really makes it all linked together, so that word doesn't get lost on the page itself. So here's a close-up of the final page. You can see all those layers of paint pen that I've drawn over it. You can see how that white in the background sort of blending it all together. I've used quite a lot of white in this page because of the detail of her face and on her jumper, so that helps tie it all together as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a go at doing a simple background, and until next time, bye for now.